intro music with a suspenseful spy thriller vibe fades in and then fades to the background, flickering through the static of history. Past the headlines and official stories lie secrets buried for decades. What if I told you the Cold War, a conflict fought in the shadows, was even stranger and more dangerous than we ever imagined? Recently, stacks of vintage documents and reels of grainy footage have been declassified, pulling back the curtain on the covert world of the CIA and the KGB. These aren't just history lessons. They are tales of espionage, psychological warfare, and operations that sound like they've been ripped from a Hollywood blockbuster. Get ready, because we're about to open the secret files of the Cold War. Let's start on our side of the Iron Curtain. In the frantic race for an edge, the CIA launched projects that pushed the very limits of ethics and science. Project MKUltra, for example, wasn't just a rumor. Declassified files reveal a chilling program aimed at mind control, using everything from hypnosis to experimental drugs on unwitting subjects. Their goal: to create the perfect unbreakable agent, or even a programmable assassin. We have memos detailing bizarre experiments and field reports that read like a psychological thriller. The grainy images from this era show men in lab coats and shadowy figures. A stark reminder that the battle for minds was just as real as any physical battlefield. It was a desperate time, and desperate measures were taken, often with devastating human consequences. But the West didn't have a monopoly on secrets. Across the world, in the cold, imposing offices of the Lubyanka, the KGB was running its own dark operations. Their reach was global, their methods ruthless. Forget the caricature of clumsy spies in trench coats. The KGB's illegals program was a masterpiece of deep cover infiltration. These were agents trained from a young age to become completely American, British or French. They adopted new identities, built families, and integrated themselves into society. Sometimes for decades, or while waiting for a single phone call to activate them. Declassified KGB training manuals show the intense psychological conditioning required. They were taught to erase their past, to live a lie so completely that it became their truth. These agents were ticking time bombs placed at the heart of Western society. The battlefield wasn't always cities or jungles. Sometimes it was the human mind itself. Both sides weaponized information and perception. Consider the KGB's Operation Infection, VIS. This was a sophisticated disinformation campaign designed to convince the world that the AIDS virus was a biological weapon created by the Pentagon. They planted false stories in foreign newspapers, used front organizations to spread rumors, and watched as the lie took on a life of its own. On the other side, the CIA funded cultural magazines, art exhibitions, and student groups through fronts like the Congress for Cultural Freedom, all to subtly promote a pro-American worldview and counter Soviet influence among intellectuals. It was a global war of narratives, where the first casualty was often the truth, fought with printing presses and radio waves instead of rifles and tanks. Sift through these yellowed papers and watch this faded footage. A chilling pattern emerges. The secret operations, the disinformation, the psychological games. They didn't just end when the Berlin Wall fell. The tactics developed in the darkest corners of the Cold War have been refined and adapted for the 21st century. Today, information spreads instantly, and the lines between truth and fiction are more blurred than ever. As we witness nations accusing each other of interference and secret plots, we have to ask ourselves, are we seeing echoes of the past? Is the silent, shadowy conflict of the Cold War simply being replayed with new technology? The files are open, but the final chapter may still be unwritten. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into history's hidden corners. If you found this journey as fascinating as I did, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next investigation. What Cold War secret should we uncover next? Let me know in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious.